All right. Hey, welcome everybody.
Hey, hello.
You guys know who we are. Richie the Redneck Pimp King. We're having a little difficulties with our politician, John. Everything was working earlier. Now it's not wanting to work for him. I don't know why. My buddy here, you know who he is.
Hey, Commander talking to you.
Commander himself. He didn't have to work on any stools today, so he's in a lot better.
Yeah, we're in a better mood.
He's in a lot better place.
And I smell better too.
Yeah. Yeah. But although I had to work on something this weekend.
What was that?
Sewer line. I had to borrow your equipment.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So, we're trying to get the politician guy to come in here, John. So we're gonna. I want you all to understand a few things. First, welcome. Second, we'll get to the what is in just a second. We're making a switch over to our main platform on YouTube. We're still going to be on all our other platforms, but YouTube, we're making a switch over there. They're less likely to shut us down all the time. Facebook seems to just shut us down for every little thing. So make sure you go over and like and share and follow and subscribe, whatever else you do to YouTube, to the WO Entertainment on YouTube, and come in through that way. Start telling your friends, come in through that way now. That way, if there are things go awry, we'll know. Okay.
Okay.
We'll have an opportunity. I see. First out of the shoot today was Kyle Lundy. Thanks for joining in, brother.
Hey.
Then Ross Golden. All right, brother. How you doing, friend? Glad to see you out and about. Oh, here we go. Right as he came in, hit him. Hi, I made it. Well, glad you're here, brother. Thank you for joining in. Again, I just told everybody, please tune in on YouTube channel. We're trying to make the switch over to there. We will announce everything on our regular Facebook platform. We're kind of making the switch, kind of going over to there.
I think it's going to be a lot better once we get over there.
I think it will be
really
too.
do. I think it's going to work out a lot better.
I think it will too. Again, tune in. We're trying to get the technical difficulties with our politician handled, and you ain't know my skills, you're in trouble. But he's let me see here in just a second, guys. Bear with us. I don't want any dead time. Bear with us here real quick. I'm going to try to get out here and get to him where I can use this big computer. Maybe by me not using this computer, it's not taking it very well. I'll try to send you the link through here. We'll go from there and see what happens. Wow, computer's slow today. What's going on here? It's a hard line too. This thing shouldn't be slow. All right, there we go. There. Let me go. Okay. Okay, I'll go back over here. Invite. Don't hit. Yeah. Copy clipboard. Again, guys, just bear with me for a second, please. Let me get this all undone. Okay. I want to make sure we get it on here. Give him his chance to say what it is he's got to say. Huh. Well, John, if you're watching, I can't get on your. Says your email has crashed. Oh, what's this here?
I don't know. But it dinged us.
I say he's trying another device. All right, we'll do something else real quick. Let me get this up here. Let's do something else real quick. See Dean Cerny's come in. Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it very much. You're a little fan as usual. Ross Golden, no worries. Appreciate it, guy. And thank you very much for joining. All right, we're gonna start off here real quick. We're trying to get Representative John Dady on here, or His real name is Dady, but it's spelled Daddy, so we call him "Who's your daddy?" It's not. Yeah, he don't like that, but it's.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to make. And I'm not here to make fun of him. But he's gonna come on. He's gonna talk about some things. He's gonna answer some questions. He's running for Missouri Senate and House up here in Washington D.C. And we all know this place, the House is not a very good place right now. I mean, what else you say? It sucks. Spent some extra nights at camp. Okay, no, thank you, appreciate it. And they tell you one thing, and you know damn good well that ain't the way it is. You know it's not the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally get it.
For example, is this a harmonica?
Why? That's a harmonica.
Okay, it's a harmonica. And it makes noises, correct?
If you know how to play it, and if not, it still makes noise. Okay, that's all I can do.
Okay, that's harmonica. It makes noise, right? The government is telling you this is a harmonica that makes noises.
Sold.
Sound like a constipated auctioneer. Yeah, what do you want to get? All right, anyway. So
Biden on a good day.
Biden on a good day. So with the gas prices being high, food being high, war raging in Ukraine, okay, and half a dozen other different things going on. What do we do?
Speaking of gas being high,
Yeah.
did you hear what Biden said the other day?
Which time? But go ahead.
Okay, about the high gas prices.
Is that the one we talk about? He wants the gas stations to lower the prices.
They need to lower the price because they're the ones why the gas is so high. You moron, that is set by OPEC on how much we pay per barrel for crude, and then you got the refining expense and the transportation to get it to us. These convenience stores only making 2 to 3 cents a gallon off of gas. They make their money off everything else they sell inside the convenience store. Really?
And yeah, that's the only way they make any money.
That's it.
You could never say a gas station is gouging anything because they don't make enough money. If all they sold was gas, they'd have to shut the doors.
Exactly.
Okay?
That was it.
And they proved there was a report somewhere and it disappeared. But a report came out that the gas stations themselves are not even or the gas companies, are not hiking prices either.
No.
They never made any profit, any significant profit at all during the pandemic. They didn't raise it one time. Okay. So they're not. No, the problem is, and and these people that talk about the president don't control the price of gases. Okay. I'll bite on that. The president may not control the price of gas, but he does with his policies.
Yes, he does.
Okay, when he kills pipelines, he'll sign you to drill, but he won't let you frack and drill on certain types of land. Only this land, not there. Right? We got places in Louisiana, Pennsylvania, still in Alaska that hasn't even been tapped. All I know is the last president. I'm not trying to make this a Trump debate, Biden debate, but Trump had us oil independent.
Yeah.
Okay, we were oil rich. All right, and now understand. So he got that. His policies. He said, guys. He said he wants to kill off oil because he's pushing his electric car agenda. He said these things before election. He said, "I'm gonna put a hurting. I'm gonna kill off the fossil fuel industry." Those are his words. You can go look that up. Unbiased. Go look it up. So that by itself would be okay. But he's this. All right, let's go a little step further. The man, he's a bully when he talks. He lies through his damn teeth. He's racist on there. I mean, you cannot go on national TV and say that black people and Latinos are too stupid to run a computer. When some of your smartest IT experts happen to be Latino and black.
Exactly.
I mean, Roy Anthony's better than I am. I mean, come on now. So I didn't turn my phone off either. All right. He's trying something else. His laptop went in. He had everything lined up, and things went to fooey on him. Dean said, and it dropped Here's 60 cents since then, but the president doesn't control fuel prices.
No, he does not.
No,
Honestly, he doesn't.
he does, but he doesn't. Trump said that they'd impeach him. Yes, he would. Okay, so let's go on there. Now, then he starts griping, or this administration starts griping about empty shelves. Okay. The American people, and I've talked to droves and droves of people, they're not saying it's because work shortage. Some of them are. So half of them are. Most majority of them say it's his mandates, his vaccine mandate. Now, I'm not telling you Facebook, we're going to shut this down. I'm not saying this is the truth. I'm saying this is what the American people believe. Okay, that's his mass mandates. All right, cause people not to work. All right, so I had that. Now the shelves are getting bare. But that's the big thing he can't hide from. The one thing I guarantee you the president can't get out of, he can lie all he want to, but you can look this up. Even the great economists all over the world, 90% of them say there's one person in this government who's responsible for inflation. One man. Because he controls that. That'd be the president of the United States. Inflation is off the charts bad. That is his fault. Now you start putting all this together, guys, in a big puzzle, and there's other things, that every time something comes out not in his favor, he's got to go in there and bash somebody. The president doesn't need to go on TV and bash the Supreme Court. That ain't gonna do you no good. All right. Certain celebrities don't get charged the way he thinks he get charged. He bashes the court system. If I was a judge, I'd give him the middle finger.
Yeah.
The border crisis. Oh my God. That's his fault. And every day we get further and further away from the election. Every day it's further and further and further his responsibility. The buck stops on his door, guys.
That's right.
Buck stops on the door. Before we go further, let's catch up some of these comments here. Kyle Lundy, they don't realize the type of gases that come out of refineries. Then they have to shut down and change the different types of gases. Oh, that's money. Time is money.
Yep.
Joe wants to go to Disneyland. Meanwhile, we can't afford to go to Disney Channel.
Captain, that's right.
That's right, Dan.
Yeah, you hit that nail on the head.
We're currently in a recession. Well, it depends on who says that. Who says? They say we're not in a recession, and some people are like, hell, we ain't.
I'll tell you what, when inflation goes up, interest rates start to climb, and it starts to become a supply chain problem on the demand for certain products. What you see is a decrease in our dollar.
Yep.
And when it gets too high and the value of our dollar gets too low, the bottom's going to drop. It happened in 1929, the Great Depression.
Yep.
They won't call it a depression today, but they will call it a recession. That's just a softer word for depression. That's all that is. And this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, and let's get there a little further. His policies, that Build Back America plan that he got passed through Congress, put all that money, he told us all was paid for. From who? He never explained who paid for this thing, right? That made the inflation go up.
Yep.
Several other things this man did. Those COVID checks, inflation go up. He's telling you he brought down the national debt. He brought in the national debt because part two of his deal didn't get passed. His $1 trillion deal. Now, we're struggling with all this money over here. $65 billion we've sent to Ukraine. When I believe, and a lot of veterans believe the same way I believe, and a lot of other people believe the same way I believe, he is in a position to stop this war.
Yeah.
There's certain techniques he can do. He's done none of them. Okay. People are like, well, Trump rode around Putin. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We're way away from Trump, but we never had a war when Trump was in office either. Thank you very much. You put a bounty on his head. Put a bounty on Putin's head. I've heard people still telling me we don't do bounties. Well, look, I got something for y'all right here. Some evidence, if you would. This is the one for Saddam Hussein. $25 million on Saddam Hussein's head. Somebody called him in. They found him buried in a hole, or he was living in a hole on his family farm. Okay. Here's another one. Here's another bounty. You might remember this guy, Osama bin Laden.
Mm-hmm.
That's $1 million bounty. They found him. One of them didn't collect the bounty, not because they didn't make the phone calls, because they're too scared to give their damn name to collect the money. But they got paid. They just didn't put no name in there. Okay. So we have in the past done those things. Why can't we do them now?
All they got to do is do it.
Now I'm not. Yeah, go ahead.
Just go ahead and put the bounty out there. See what happens.
And the war will be over. What was going to happen?
That's it. But it all boils down to the same old thing all the time: economics. Economics. The dollar.
Well, he made it, guys.
Everybody's wanting their. Hey,
he's in the green room here. Didn't mean to cut you off, Commander. You know I respect you a lot. Sorry about that, guys. Without further ado, without hearing Commander Knight's gums battle, we're going to bring a guy on. Talked to him before. He's got a good heart. He's passionate. He's a patriot of the United States. He's a patriot of the state of Missouri. He's running for office here in Missouri and up there in Congress. We're going to bring him on. If you have any questions, please write your questions in here. Only thing I ask for is you guys be kind, and then we'll bring him on and talk. So without further ado, guys, welcome Mr. John Dady. Not Daddy.
Dady, that's right.
Dady.
That's right.
Welcome, John, to the WO Radio Show on the WO Entertainment Network. We are glad to have you. This is my brother in arms, my compadre, my veteran friend, the Commander, Alan Reed.
Hey, Commander.
So
nice seeing you guys.
What we're going to do is we're going to turn the floor over to you in just a second, and we're going to let you speak, and then we're going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
All right. If you would, sir, and you got fans on here watching. I don't know if you can see the comments or not, but there's comments going up down the screen. Introduce yourself, tell them what you're running for, and your passions and what you stand for, please.
Okay. Well, my name is John Dady. I'm running for U.S. Congress, 6th District, Missouri, as a conservative Republican. Yes, there's still a few of us left. Not many, but there's a few. Passions. Ron, do we have enough time to list all of them? It'd be easier to say I have passion about everything. About our country, our founding, our history, our people, our future, about everything. And I have ideas on what we need to do to stop what's being done to us right now, which is being fast tracked to communism. Anybody disagree with that one? Chime in. Because that's right where we're going. They've been setting this up for 50 years. And so far, I haven't got out there a whole lot. I went to an event on Saturday at the Clay County Republican Committee. Did I tell you about that, Reggie?
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Went over there. It's a long drive from here. Gas not cheap, paid my entry. And they would not let me speak. I talked to the MC, who turned out to be a buddy of Sam Graves. Used to work for him, so they'll tight. And wouldn't let me near that stage with the microphone in my hand. So that was very disheartening. It's like my own party censored me. Everybody else got to speak. I was not allowed to speak. So that's so not cool. So let's talk about, what topic do y'all want to talk about first? Should we talk about the gas prices?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's low hanging fruit. That's going to play into what I'm saying. Or what we're going to talk about. I'm going to bring a stat up for you. I'm going to bring up something for you, and I want you to take a look at this. Commander and I were just talking about this beforehand. Okay. Can you see that real good?
Yes, I can see that. Yes.
Okay. Explain to the American people and the people here in the state of Missouri what they're looking at here, because this looks pretty bleak.
Well, you're looking at Biden thuggery economics is what you're looking at. Okay. Because you can see here it was 1.4% when Trump was kicked out of the White House due to fraud. What was the first thing Biden did? He started killing our oil production. The world is an oil-based economy. You cannot start crushing your production of oil and not expect inflation to kick in, because everything moves by something that consumes oil. Bottom line. Then that $2 trillion kick in for the last thing he did that everybody warned him about for helping the people on for the COVID stuff. Even his own people were saying, dude, don't need it. We're coming out of this just fine. So he threw another $2 trillion on top of that. Then we got a $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, which was anything but infrastructure. So you can see how we get there. So the only way to start clawing out of this is we've got to start producing energy, which will bring the prices down for everything. So that's what you all are looking at. You got Biden and his, invisible 81 million voters to blame for this.
And this started, for those who don't know, this chart right here is the same chart you see on Fox News, CNN. This is all
CNBC business. Yeah.
This is all the same chart. So there's no one chart different than the chart. It's the same chart.
Mhm.
January 1.4. As of last month, 8.6. And they're
And
right
that's
here.
not inclusive either. That they don't factor in energy or food prices in that.
Right. Well, good luck on that. Let's go back to last year. From March 2021, 2.6. July, 5.4. That's a big
Mhm.
jump.
Big jump.
That's a huge jump. And then now 8.6 from July last year is 5.4. When the numbers come out this year for July,
I think we'll
probably
top
9,
10% by year end
9-10%.
on their numbers.
Now I'm a former business owner, retired. The guy to me to my right is a current business owner right now. If your business does one like that, how long would you be in business?
Not very damn long.
I'd already have to park my van.
Yeah,
That's it.
there's just no way around these things.
So because you can only raise prices so much, and you price your customers right out the door.
You do.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like I said,
You price yourself right out of business is what happens, is because
Mhm.
you've got you try to keep your overhead down, because that'll keep your
Mhm.
costs down to the consumers when they call you for a service call to get something repaired. But with the cost of insurance going up for liability and workers' comp that you got to have under the law, and then you've got the insurance on your vehicles, which goes up. You got
Oh,
wear
yeah.
and tear on your vehicle. The cost of gasoline has gone up.
Mhm.
People
Yep.
wonder how come it's $60 to $75 just to show up at their front door before you even pull your tool bag out of your van to go to work on what they got that's broken. You know what I'm saying? And people get to where they can't,
Mhm. Oh,
and
I
then
know
people
exactly
will
what you're
get to where they can't afford to have something done. And it's back when it was like when Obama was in, the only people that were calling to have work done or things were, you had to have it done, not because you wanted
Yeah,
to.
Right.
It was a have to. You were forced into
Right.
it.
Right.
And that's where we are getting back
Well,
right
I'm
now.
going to say something, but see, here's the difference now. This conversion, this what's dummy call it? The pain that we're feeling on switching over from fossil to renewables. See, that's the difference between now and his boss, Obama. Okay, this in their world, this is going to be permanent. I talked to somebody with a very large electric co-op Monday on my way back from Liberty. Needed him to verify some things to me, and he did. And the oil is not really the low-hanging fruit you think it is because of why it is being done. It is being done to force us into wind and solar. Guys, world, whoever's listening, you got to stop believing that you can power our country on wind and solar. It is never going to be possible. Period. Ever, ever, ever. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah.
It cannot be done.
Well, it's just like the
Period.
windmills we have out here in DeKalb County. These big wind
Half the
turbine
time
mills
they're
that they
not
got.
even running. I've been
Yeah.
up by them 1,000 times.
Exactly. And they claim that all of that energy is being funneled right to the East Coast. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I was
doubt
told
that.
by,
That's a lot of transmission.
yeah.
Um,
And so they said it would be 99 years after they're up and running before those windmills would even start to turn a profit.
Well, and I know
Who's going to invest in
Right.
something that you got to wait 99 years for a return on your money?
and he's
well,
pushing this. We talked
our
about
taxes are going for it.
we talked about this. He's pushing this thing, okay, too hard. It should be first of all, you should have a choice, all right, and you should push both of them equally. I don't mind if you want to get an electric car, get an electric car. The problem I get with it, one, he's bullying you, he's pushing you into doing it. He's making you buy a $60,000 car, but he's not
That's right.
he's not looking far enough ahead. I got several friends in Buffalo, New York. Okay. And we all know it gets cold in Buffalo, New York.
yeah,
Okay. And you being in construction, anybody that's had batteries long enough knows what the cold weather ain't a friend to a battery. There was a line of cars. I mean, a line. You can play Convoy song if you want to. Okay. Broke down on the side of the road in Buffalo this winter because they mischarged them. They fully charged them, but it didn't last as long because of cold weather, so they didn't get to their destination. So here they're on the side of the road. Now they can't run their heater like a truck, a regular vehicle.
No, they can't.
You had nothing. They're just dead. They are absolutely dead. So they didn't figure on this. Okay. Now, have they figured on how much these charger ports cost to put in? There's no charger. Like here in the state of Missouri, I'm sure we have some charger ports, but they ain't none around where we live in a rural area. So that's some of the things going on. We got some questions on here for the viewers.
So it's kind of like when they run out of current alongside the road because of the weather or whatever's going on, then there is a gas powered truck that brings a gas powered generator out to charge an electric car with fossil fuel.
Or they die.
Okay. Yeah.
Or they die.
Okay. I rest my case.
You got it? You understand now? They die.
They knew this was going to be the case. They just didn't bother to tell anybody. Nobody was smart enough to figure it out on their own. But
one of our
industry has known.
One of our avid listeners, and actually the curator of where my office is here, Denise Maddox, great lady. She said, "What's Biden's popularity percent right now? Depending upon which poll you look at, I've seen as low as 33. I've seen 33. I've seen 38, 33, 38, 35.
Yeah.
All you need to know is it's low as it's been since any of us have been alive.
Yeah.
We've had some presidents now. Woo! Okay. So that's the last one I've seen. All right, let's get into a few of these questions here we got.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I kind of gave you this question away the other night when I talked to you, but I'm going to ask you again for the fans. Here in the state of Missouri, all right, there's a law on the books in the state of Missouri that says you cannot shut someone's power off if it's 32 degrees or colder for a 24-hour period.
That's right.
And they do it, and they do it a lot. So if you were up there in a position of power where you can make these rules and figure things out, and there's several other laws the same way that are on the books we're not enforcing, what would you do, sir, about this? And what can a person do if it happens to them?
Well, that's a state issue at level, but here's what I would do. And I was reading about this, and it is such a CF, and I think we all know what a CF is, right?
Well, we can say it on here, cluster F. Yeah.
It's a clusterfuck. All right. It doesn't apply to co-ops. It only applies to certain power producers, which
ain't that a co-op?
Pick your poison. So if you're not receiving power from one of the ones that have to follow that law, then you're just SOL.
Yeah.
Okay. So it needs to be the cold weather rule needs to be from November to 1st of November to the 1st of April.
Yep.
Period. Regardless of who is your power provider.
All right.
Period.
Now,
you can't disconnect during those times. And then you got to pay a 20% fee or an 80% of the bill or 50% before you need to be reconnected. Of course, they can't charge you a reconnection fee. But that all depends if you're receiving power from a co-op that is affected by this law.
And see, but
so not every co-op.
It doesn't say that in the law. It just says what it says, and then it's really written for a bunch of attorneys to joke about. Because I was reading it last night. It's like, are you kidding me? And I got a pretty good head for that stuff. And I just like, yeah. And it ain't been one city. It's been I can name some towns around Gallatin, Hamilton, Cameron, Chillicothe. These towns have did that. When somebody from Jefferson City comes up and looks at it, they leave and don't give nobody an explanation. Okay, so it's weird. I mean, now I've seen it go to court, and I've seen it both ways. I've seen a judge uphold it and say yes, they can, and I've seen judges say no, you need to get out there right now and turn the power back on. Okay, I've seen guys I've seen utility men. I don't recommend this, but I've seen utility men come in a guy's yard. He's about 6 foot curl of hair and get his ass whipped. Okay, it's thrown out in the street. Don't do that.
But it's something that needs to be completely reworked because there's so many loopholes in it. You can fly a 747 through it.
Right.
So there's where I'd start at is raising hell down there in Jeff City with these empty suits and say, okay, guys, look at this disaster we have. It's doesn't work for most of the people that it's designed to help. So that's where I'd start on that. Throw it all out, start it all over, do it right this time. instead of having all these exceptions to and whereases and wherefores. Because as soon as you start seeing those paragraph after paragraph, guess what it is, guys? It's all subterfuge.
You're right.
Yes,
You
it is.
know, and it
Yes, it
doesn't
is.
serve the people.
Another one I
So-
want to get with you on.
Okay.
Up there in this beloved White House and Congress and yeah, one they're telling me and you and everybody else here that the economy is booming. Inflation is not what it is. They're pulling a big wool over our eyes. They say unemployment is 3%. How the hell is unemployment 3% when nobody is working? They got help wanted signs everywhere, no matter what town you go in, Missouri, Iowa, wherever, they got help wanted signs. The labor force ain't putting them out there.
The labor force participation rate is really low.
Yeah,
is what it is.
So
Because
it doesn't make any sense.
more people not working. So as you know, when you lose your benefits for unemployment benefits, you're considered working.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
What
As
are
a
you saying
general,
there, guys?
most economists who are honest,
Mhm.
whatever the government is saying to you, triple it.
Yeah.
That's
triple
the
it.
general rule.
Yeah. What he's saying there,
Okay.
guys, is quite simple. What he's saying is, if you draw unemployment, you are a number, usually your Social Security number. Okay, when you start getting benefits, they assume
You're back to work.
you're back to work. Therefore, yay, they're back to work, and that's not the way it is. Some people are sitting at home trying to live off one income again, or they're picking up
Yeah.
cans, or they're doing cash, odd jobs to make by.
Whatever.
Okay, but when you're losing business and they're shutting down, here in Cameron, Missouri, and I talked to the mayor. He told me they lost 10 good employee paid businesses in this town. 2 of them were big restaurants who put out the food and put out the
Yeah.
we
we
lost
lost
them.
them.
We lost 2. Yeah, the Papa Sweets and Tub Creek. If you're put in up there, tell us what your first set of goals are, please.
Yeah.
To help us.
What's your platform
DC?
that you want to accomplish?
Yes.
Oh, there's a whole laundry list of things I want to accomplish. If I could just be king for a day. Anyway,
Yeah, there you go.
first thing I would do, and I've tried to talk to other candidates, but shit, they don't talk to each other for some mysterious reason. But you got to start where the problem begins in the White House. The first thing I would do, everything else kind of pointless until we remove Biden and Harris from the White House. Both. Double impeachment. Never been done, but it's totally legal. We'll just bring up one indictment right now, and that's the borders open, illegal, unconstitutional as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Biden as commander in chief, and then we got Kamala, who he put in charge of that border, who has never been within 1,000 miles of the damn thing. Okay, so we do a double impeachment. Now here's what I wanted to do, but I had no voice. I've been saying this for a year. We take out the House and we name Donald Trump the Speaker, which we can do. You don't have to be a member of Congress to be a Speaker of the House, you know.
Right.
So we do a double impeachment of those 2 knuckleheads and Trump's back in the White House. All nice, neat, and legal.
Yes.
That's what should be being discussed right now, because I think we're going to take back the Senate by quite a little bit. So we'll have enough to impeach and convict and get them the hell out. Okay, that should be strategy number 1. Then we can save this country. We cannot endure another 2.5 years of this garbage. There'll be nothing left for anybody to save. So that's where I'm coming from, everybody. We must first get the criminals out of the White House.
Right.
And from what I know of most of these Republicans, they don't have the balls for it. They always go, "Oh, but we got to get along with them because they'll do the same thing to us." But they already did twice.
They did.
with Trump.
Yeah, they did.
Both
Yeah.
impeachments. But still, and I've known these guys. I've done the political stuff for a long time. Then took some time off because I just got tired of dealing with stupid every day.
Yeah, but the
And,
problem is how many of these Republicans, these conservative Republicans
Rhinos.
in there are going to be stinking rhinos that you think they've got our back, and then you get in there
This
and
is-
you find
this is
out
why
that they go
everybody-
against it.
You're right, Commander. You're exactly right. This is why everybody. This is why primaries are so damned important. Okay, that people don't realize it. Okay, you need to be out there right now. We got about a month. We got a month left here in Missouri. In most states, are about on August 2nd, primary election day. You need to get your Republican candidates to sign a written document that they will vote for impeachment of both of them, and they will nominate Donald Trump for Speaker of the House. I don't even know if he's thought about it. I have no idea if he wants it, but talk about sweet. Legally impeach those criminals. That gives Trump the White House back. Good plan, isn't it, guys? Nobody's talking about it. It's totally legal. We can do it. I think we're going to have the votes in the House and the Senate to do it. And by God, can you see 75 million Trump voters rallying around that one?
Yeah, we can. And I've heard that very thing before.
Yeah. We've talked about that around the coffee shop a time or two over the last 10 or 11 months.
Yeah, they
so nobody else is talking about it. Just us. This is TikTok guys. Nobody in DC is talking about it.
Yeah. Here's some of the things. Here's some of the things that Biden. Here's some of the evidence that he's a liar. Okay, this is from TikTok.
Every time he opens his mouth, he's a liar.
Yeah.
He was called on some issues about lying before he got the presidency. Here's some. I want you guys to listen to this stuff.
I'm going to take down those racist Mexicans.
What? Is this Biden's most racist moment yet, or just out of context? I'm gonna break it down for you. So I noticed this clip is going around again, and it's one of my favorites because it's actually from a speech that Biden made in 2019 in my hometown, San Antonio, Texas. Shout out, Saytown. But here's the full clip.
In Trump Towers, he said he was doing it before he hit the ground floor. Remember what he said? He said, I'm going to take down those racist Mexicans. Then he claimed no.
Yeah, so he's obviously talking about Trump. But the problem is, Trump never actually said that. In fact, here's the speech that Trump made that Biden's referring to.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Yeah, so Trump never said anything about Mexicans, and apparently someone else in the audience knew that and called Biden out in the middle of his speech.
There's never been a president.
That's a lie, Joe.
Never been a president.
That's a lie.
Oh, it is a lie.
Yeah, and it was your son in the Ukraine. All right.
Oh, Ukraine, that did not age well, but that didn't stop Biden because he actually doubled down on the exact same rhetoric about a year later, and I'll post the second clip if y'all want. You can see for yourselves.
Okay.
Yep.
That was fact checked to the nth degree, and it was a true statement. These are things. This guy up there. At first, he's like a funny old uncle, kissing babies and everything like that. But people don't want to say, especially Democrats, don't want to admit this. He sniffs children. We're like, well, so I sniff children. Okay. Do you take a shower with your 12-year-old daughter inappropriately?
Yeah.
I think not. My grandkids, my daughters especially, they hit 2 or 3. And I ain't even in the damn bathroom when they're naked. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I ain't got a problem getting in the bath, but when they get a certain age, they need to know the separation from adult. And I believe when the girl's 12,
that's way past that age.
She's in mature mode, okay? And she's getting that way. She don't need a man in there especially when taking a shower with her, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't talk about that stuff. That's stuff that his daughter wrote in her journal. Mm-hmm. That's not nothing that John Dady and W Entertainment wrote. That's a fact that you want to think. Okay, you got that going on. These guys are so blind to this stuff now. Because of Roe versus Wade, which, by the way, I'll let you explain that there in a minute, what a shitstorm that was. They never said you couldn't do abortions. They're just kicking it back to the states to take care of it. Mm-hmm. You got Roe. They want all this peacefulness, but they didn't want peacefulness at all. They didn't want peaceful protest because there's a law. Again, here's another one they ain't enforced. There's a law that says you can peaceful protest, but you can't do it in front of the Supreme Court justices' houses. Period. No. You can't do that because that's intimidation.
I think that goes for any federal judge. Because it's intimidation.
And they did it. Not one of them was arrested, and they kept doing it. Now, credit to the Supreme Court justice. They went ahead and made a ruling anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good, and kick it down to the states. All right. Now, I don't care about my position on abortion. His or yours. We're men. I don't think we really ought to have an opinion. But I want you to touch on some things going on there and these illegal tactics and what we got to do to stop this stuff because the Democrats ain't gonna stop them. What can you do?
Well, as far as there's a 2-tier justice system.
No, stop all this burning and looting. I mean, listen, these guys are so delusional.
Because we have a 2-tier justice system. If we enforce the laws against these rioters and looters and killers, they would stop.
They would stop.
We don't enforce it. And remember, Kamala Harris donated a lot of money to that slush fund in 2020 to bail out these rioters.
Yep.
Yes, they have.
Exactly.
Yes,
a lot of money. Okay.
What's that?
So they're just arresting them, booking them right out the door to burn down the next building, to rob the next store. This is what I call them Democrat Party. You know that, right? Not
Yeah.
the Democrats. Because
Well,
they're demons all the
and
way around.
Well, the Republicans are letting us go on. They're letting us go on.
Exactly. And again, it goes back, guys, to the fact that your average Republican, they're terrified of the Democrats.
Why
They know
is that?
how evil and sinister and vindictive they are.
A lot of them can't fight.
Because
Why?
they always have been. Our side is really good at laying out. Our side is really good at laying out and describing the problems, but really crappy at doing anything about it. Because I've been to more committee meetings for both sides than I care to count. Okay, and our people say, "Well, John, we can't do that." It's a great idea, John, but we can't do it.
Why?
Well, because the Democrats will never go along with it. They won't. Let's go. Screw
Who
them.
cares? Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Appeal to your base. Appeal to your voters. They're your employees, your bosses anyway.
Right.
So do what you're supposed to do. Then I go to the next night to Democrat county committee meeting. Those guys are laughing their ass about at us. And they're saying what they're going to do, even if it's 20 or 30 years out. They plan the long haul on this stuff, guys. And they know that they've got the Republican Party scared.
Guys, if you just tuned in, we're John Dady, not Daddy, Dady,
Yeah.
6th Congressional Missouri. He's trying to get in up there and get some things done, and he's here with us today. He's graciously took his time out for his day to come talk to us about issues. And we're talking about inflation. We're talking about a lot of things that's gone on with this current administration. Inflation is solely on President Biden's problem. It's solely his fault. Every economic person I've ever talked to said there's one man that controls the economy, and it's the president. And so this was his fault. We showed a stat a while ago, it's 8.6. But here's another stat I want you all to look at. The average person have kids. It used to cost $120,000 from the minute they were born until they're 18 years old. Okay, it used to be $120,000. As of this year, right here is your new stat. It's an expenditure of children by families report. The USDA puts the cost of raising a child from birth to age 18 at $233,610 for a middle income family married with 2 kids, around $12 or almost $13,000 per year. There's some reports say it's $250,000 a year.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Look at that.
Yep.
So
average income is $50,000 a year. Do the math. It's a losing proposition.
Right.
It really is. And so we need guys up there that's going to, and women, don't want to think we're biased here.
Yeah,
Men
we
or
have
women.
some tough Republican women on our side.
Yes, we do.
Pretty good. They're a lot tougher than our men for the most part. I gotta say that. They are.
Okay. Listen, I got a good wife, so I agree 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
To steer this ship, what we got going on, she can steer that. She's a hell of a woman. Like I said, guys, that just tuned in, we got John Dady here from the 6th District of Missouri. He's running for Congress. He wants to go up to the White House. He's wanting our vote, wanting our trust. He's a patriot. It sounds to me like he's a patriot. He's got a lot of ideas. And I never did give you an opportunity to answer a while ago, and I apologize for that. I got brain damage. Really, I seriously do. So sometimes I get ahead. I apologize for that. Go back and answer the question about the economy. What would you do to help stimulate the economy in the right direction?
Well, first of all, we got to get rid of the Biden administration. Now, I would introduce legislation, whether that thief is still there or not. I've got it all written out. I read a lot of legislation to create legislation, a law, and it'd have to be a veto-proof majority on both sides. And guys, I'm praying that we get that. That forbids Biden to shut down oil or any energy production, period. Okay, and it must be reestablished to the levels it was before he took office. See, one man shouldn't have that much power. Keep in mind when they say, well, you can't drill on federal lands. Guess whose land that is? It's ours.
Mm-hmm.
We are the federals. We are the owners of this country. Now, the owners of this country, we're in bad shape here. So I create legislation that would force him to open up those grounds again. Do it pre-Biden administration energy policies. You see, now that's going to be huge, and it's going to take 6 months to a year to get that product into the system. But because oil and natural gases are commodities, as soon as that is announced that it's going to happen, and the commodity market looks 6 months ahead, they're going to say, "Oh, well, we're going to start getting some more supplies at this point in time and this point in time." That starts immediately bringing prices down. It's crude.
It would.
Okay?
That's the truth.
That's how that works.
Yes.
Okay. Most people have no idea how this stuff works. They think that the oil drillers set the price of the oil. No, it's a commodity. The commodity market set the price of, well, everything. Basically, everything you eat is on a commodity market.
All right.
All your energy is on a commodity market.
You ever watch Trading Places?
Yeah, it's not like the farmer says, I need $80 a bushel for my corn. He doesn't get to say that. You're at the whims of the marketplace. It's just that simple. Most people, they don't know this. I don't know how they don't know it, but they don't. So if you're hearing this for the first time, folks, now you know. This is how this works. So I'd start there. And then I've got this other piece of legislation. I call it the Transparency and Accountability Act. And what that does is, I think we're all kind of tired of 2,500 pieces of legislation, and you have a day to look at it, read it, dissect it, and explain it to the people. That's kind of bullshit, right? That's more subterfuge, more deceit. So I want to limit legislation to 10 pages. If you can't write out a piece of legislation in 10 pages, find another damn job, because it isn't that hard. And limit it to no more than 5 pieces of legislation submitted at one time, because that's going to kill the omnibus. I hate omnibus legislation. That is the most ridiculous, dangerous thing. And everybody just votes for it because, there's one thing in 3,000 pages that they like, so they vote for it. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's filibuster crap. That needs all that filibuster, all that earmarking. That all needs to go.
The omnibus, which is a giant, huge economic bill that's passed usually once a year.
Right.
Now, also, it limited to basically 50 pages for 5 bills, 5 pieces of legislation. It has to be published online, made available to the people for 96 hours before a vote. That way we have time to read it. Because right now it's so overwhelming. We don't have time to sit down and read 2,500 page pieces of legislation. It's just
the average
impossible.
person don't care.
50 pages? Yes.
Yeah. The average person don't even care.
Oh, it's overwhelming. Even if they do care, they're so overwhelmed.
And they couldn't understand it. Right. They can't understand it when it's wrote down.
10-page piece of legislation cuts dramatically down on the subterfuge.
All right, John, we got another question for you, brother. Here we go.
So I want that done.
Okay, here we got another question for you. This is from Dean Cerny. He's out of Ohio, and he's a super fan. He watches every show there is that veterans have. He's just a great dude. He says, how does John feel about term limits and putting Congress back in per diem so they can only get paid for the time they spend in the seat in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, that should be per diem. I've got mixed feelings about term limits. Because every congressman is limited to 2 years, every senator to 6. So in that regard, they're already term limited. It's up to the people to get him out. If they don't like him, just stop voting for him and remove them. Okay? Here's what I'm afraid of, guys, and everybody listening. If there's term limits, I think it will cut down on the participation and the awareness of what's going on, because they'll go, I don't need to vote for that person because they'll be out in 3 more terms. I don't care. See what I'm saying? I think it sends the wrong message to a lot of people. Go, well, I don't need to vote because they can only be in 12 years as a senator, 8 years as a congressman. So count me out. I don't need to do anything. Well, see, that reverse psychology can come into play on this. Right?
It can, but it's already there. There's a lot of people who believe the election was still stolen that don't want to vote now. I'm not sure I want to go and vote. So you got that already.
Have to.
But term limits.
We have to.
The president has them. The president has them. He can't 2 terms all he gets. Right.
Right.
These other people can go and get voted in and voted in. The problem with that is now not have term limits. You got a bunch of idiots who lay in front of oncoming traffic because they can't get their way, voting these people still in office. Okay. And then you get a bunch of old people up there who make a career out of it. It's not, our founding fathers didn't set this up to be a career.
No,
okay?
they didn't.
And they're still in office. Right. Oh, some people that are, too old. Quite frankly, if you're above 65 years old, you probably shouldn't be up in there anyway. Okay. So you don't have young people now who understand how young people think. middle-aged people, how middle-aged people think. I think they do need term limits. That's where you and I would disagree with that. I think they absolutely need term limits, and I think they need to implement them from day one. But that's you can go that way too.
Again, when our country was young, we had a lot more turnover in the House, and of course the Senate was handpicked by the state legislatures.
Yes, right.
Okay, but there was a lot more turnover. Why? Because the people were more involved in their politics in their country. Will become less involved. They become less attached. They become more detached from what is going on by their employees in Washington D.C. Because it's just psychology. Okay, can we give it a trial run and see how it works? Yeah, but would I want to make that a constitutional amendment? Hell no, because I'm very confident I'm correct. It would remove people from the process because, oh, wow, I don't get a vote now at all because Joe blows out in 2 years.
Okay, okay.
I'll tell you what.
How about just a second, please. How about this one? Okay, I agree with what you're saying there, but why the president? If the president can have two terms, why can't Congress? Same thing still applies. People vote him in, people vote him out.
Well, that was a relatively new thing after Roosevelt,
Right.
Because he got elected 4 times.
Right.
Right.
Back
and
then,
they decided, well, we don't need that going on. But I see your reasoning, but I'm also fearful that this will take people out of the process. Right. Because it'll take I don't have to. People they're lazy if you allow them to be. Come on, guys, we all know this.
We've seen it during this last election. I mean, I got a buddy of mine who's a co-host on here. We argue back and forth about the election not being stolen, election being stolen. January 6th going on, all that stuff. But this wasn't right now. Now, there's never been a fair election. Well, I shouldn't say never been, but elections are tampered with all the time. They really are. Republicans cheat, Democrats cheat. There was a case in Texas. You might have heard of this, and I need people to listen up that doubt me. There's a lady named Lopez who got caught in Texas, arrested for voter fraud amongst illegal aliens. Okay. Yeah. In Texas, they ain't got no filter. Some of their cops are cowards, but we'll get to that different time, different place. Yeah. But that does happen. You got FBI moving gates to let people in on purpose. Okay. Yep. So they can act up during the January 6th thing. This stuff happens. What are we going to do about our FBI not acting accordingly too? And I'll let you get your question. I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It won't go nowhere. It won't go nowhere.
All right. So if that's what we're doing.
What do we do about the FBI? Was that your question?
Yeah. The final part of that rant was about the FBI. I mean, because look, they dropped the ball.
FBI is a Stasi for the Democrat Party. Come on, guys, let's just be honest about it.
Yes, they are. Listen, they've dropped the ball.
I would introduce legislation to immediately defund the FBI. Defund them. That effectively shuts them down. I hear all the time, well, 99% of the agents are good. Bullshit. Because if 99% of the agents were good, they would have stood up a long time ago about this whole crap with the phony Russiagate that the FBI propagated and moved along as though it was real, and they knew from day one it was not real. So where are these good agents at? I don't see any of them. Do you? Nope. And now... No. They're more overt in their acts against the American people. Look at the deal with Governor Whitmer up there in Michigan. I mean, that was an entrapment setup case by the FBI from the word go. Okay, they got caught on that one. You know damn well that they had people in plain clothes at January 6th. And I'll tell you how come we know this. A, by what you were saying, you got these people opening the barriers. You got the guy up in the tree barking out orders. Yeah. You had up the night before even. And not only that, we learned a lot of stuff through the 2,000 Mules. Now, to get the geofence data, because remember, the FBI says they track these people down by their cell phone records, right? Mm-hmm. And they started making arrests within a couple days, didn't they? Based on their records. Well, you can't get that information from the cell phone companies and map out the data, do everything that you need to do in 2 days. It's a several-day period. So I'm going to tell you how they did it. They were the people on Parler and other places were planning to go to the Capitol that day on January 6th. I followed it. I watched it. I watched as hotels in the D.C. area wouldn't rent to patriots. So they were having to go way out to get a room if they could find $100, sleep in their car. I'm watching all this online. And so was the FBI.
Right.
So what they were doing right then and there, weeks before, as they started planning this, is they started tracking people's cell phone activities right then and already had their information.
Yeah, because some of the guys were plants. That's why they ain't got large amount of time in prison, because they were plants. Okay. Case disappeared. Roy Anthony has got a question for you. He's one of our
We gotta
hosts on
get
the
those
network.
J6 people out of that prison too. That's just, that's third world country bullshit right there. Everybody.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Roy Anthony is he's a host. You can catch him every Tuesday and Thursday at noon on our network here. It's a conversation, not a confrontation. All right. He's a good dude, real good friend of mine. Different political views, but I love him and I love him the same. His question is, didn't Trump sign a tax increase to start 2021 and increase every year?
No.
I told him no. I told him no. I don't
The
want to
Trump tax cuts aren't permanent yet. And even Biden's advisors are saying, dude, you got to make them permanent. It shows a little bit of stability. Now, those tax cuts, what's it say? No. That's more Democrat disinformation is what that is. He literally gave us the biggest tax cut ever.
Yes.
And I still think it wasn't enough. I was lobbying for a 15% tax rate for corporate America for businesses. I think it ended up being at 21. It's still better than 38, 39 where it was at. But I wanted to be even more competitive. And that would have been an even bigger edge, but it was enough to start enticing businesses to grow and move back.
Right, right. And there's a lot, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things Trump did. I scratch my head like, what are you doing? But he, when he left office, the gas was cheap. Everybody could eat, and we had food and money in our pockets. Okay,
and we were respected around the world. We didn't have any wars going on. We were running down Afghanistan.
That is some misinformation. People thought the other world hated him. That is not true. Our enemies hated Trump. Okay, but he was well respected.
They feared Trump more than anything. They didn't hate him. They feared him.
They feared him because they know Trump was unstable.
And then when he went in there, what was it on some of those terrorists over there in Afghanistan? Was it, guys? Commander, you probably know. And he dropped the Moab on their ass.
Yep.
Killed about 10,000 of them.
About 10,000. Yeah.
Didn't hear peep much out of them after that, did we?
They stuck their heads back down in the sand and they didn't move. I mean, they just They said, because Trump said, if you mess with our people, I'm going to come over and kill you all.
Yes.
And that's what he did. And they
left us alone.
They feared that.
They feared Trump. That's why for his last 18 months in office, nobody was killed in Afghanistan.
Because they never lost. We didn't lose one soldier.
No,
not one.
Not one soldier. 18 months. Because he went in there and blew up 10,000 of those nutcases.
All right, John, we got another question from Kyle Lundy. He's out of Ohio as well. Good dude. He's got stage 4 cancer. He's got a question for you. What are your thoughts on the burn pit toxic exposure bill? I have stage 4 metastatic lung cancer from my 6 deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan.
Metastatic lung cancer means
from Iraq and Afghanistan from toxic.
I've read a little bit about that. Why doesn't Kyle bring us up to speed a little bit more on that? Because I was talking to somebody about that a while back, and we shouldn't be doing that stuff at all.
No, in the VA.
That's over there.
Yeah, they need
in Afghanistan, where we were getting rid of our stuff, those pits.
Yeah. Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah.
No, that's real. That happened. And if anybody who was injured by that needs to be taken care of. No questions asked.
That should be agreed across the board. Democrat, Republican, Independent, they all come together and say, you know what, that man deserves to be paid. All the people need to be paid for that. But they use, I feel as a veteran, that they use us sometimes as a pawn. Okay, like especially around budget time. Well, we're not going to pay the veterans. We're not going to pay the active military. That weighs on people's purse strings. Listen, maybe we shouldn't pay you. That's the way us civilians think. Maybe we shouldn't pay you. Let's get a pay performance basis. Yeah. How you perform, you should get paid.
Exactly.
Maybe a lot more things get done up there.
I'm going to talk about a couple more pieces of legislation I'd like to do too.
All right. You got a question over here.
You go ahead. and
It's about
say
Social
what you're
Security. I
going to
think
do.
the senior citizens want to hear this.
All right, go ahead.
You know, once you're in full retirement, Social Security, they don't limit how much money you can make, right? But for the millions of the rest of us, they cap you. Right now, it's $19,560 per year. Every dollar you earn more than that, they knock you down 3 on your benefits.
Yep.
That's 33%. That's a punitive punishment. So they say, don't go over your 19,560 there, buddy. Well, a lot of people still need the money and they want to be active. So I want to do away with that limit. I want to raise that. Well, since it's worse, I want to raise it to 30,000
Okay.
that you can earn before any punishment. And then your punishment is going to be $1 deduction in your benefits for every $10 that you earn. Then I want to do away with the taxes on the Social Security income. So,
Okay.
and
Okay.
this needs to be done because we're getting older, but remaining more active than ever in our society. We want to work. We don't want to just sit around and wait to freaking die, do we? No, we want to be active, and we don't want to be punished for doing so. We got these lazy fucks coming up right behind us, right? They don't know how to work. You know what I'm saying, guys? We need all
Well,
hands on deck. If you're
right now, yeah.
able-bodied person working and you want to work, let's not punish you for doing so.
How do we
Back in
do
the
that?
day,
How do we
you
do
would
it?
that.
How do
How do
we
we-
get them to go to work? You know, if they got no incentive, like
Younger
right now.
kids, I don't know how. That's for another show. But right now, our senior citizens,
Yeah.
they're hurting. They're hurting
They are.
bad.
They are.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
we need to take the boot off their necks that says you can't earn this much. Now, another thing for the earning people,
Right.
I'm not a fan of taxes. I never liked that Jekyll Island deal to begin with. So, trying to work with what we got, I proposed legislation. I think I could get support for that Social Security idea. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah, because it's equitable, it needs to be done. I'm probably going to raise that from 30,000 to 35 because the Biden economy just keeps eating away your money. So I want to right now your tax deductions. You don't start paying taxes until you earn what 12,500 a year, and then you owe right any
Right.
amount over. I want to change that to your first $100,000 is tax-free, no federal income taxes on it at all. Now, I've had some people, some of these meetings I got to go, oh, well, that's a lot of money. It's just, in Biden's economy, charge me $100,000 is a shit, because it isn't. It keeps getting eroded every day. So here's the point. Well, we can't afford that, people say. He says, yes, we can. So I run a quick estimate on it, and I had my tax advisor look at this and crunch some numbers. It says, okay, so the number of people who make $100,000 per year or less, their annual contribution to the Federal Reserve is about $300 million. Okay. So what's $300 million to a $5 trillion budget? It's not even an accounting error. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just lop it off some. Oh, wait, I'm going to close the FBI. We said that and then some. Okay. So now think about this. You got $300 million that's not in the pockets of DC to spread around to their buddies. It's in your pocket to spread around in your communities, to save, to invest. You're going to get growth out of that. No matter how you spend it, it's going to generate some sort of taxes or an investment growth, right? I'd have more money to go into downtown Troy to shop with, more sales tax, more money for the schools, more money for the city, more money for my bank account. That $300 million would be well spent and be a hell of a good shot in the arm for our economy. So people don't think about that. Well, because they're so envious of people who make $100,000 a year. It's not that much. When you're talking 3 or 4 kids and you've got your colleges and you've got your taxes going up all the time, it's brutal. So this is what I want to do on that and change that. And I think I could garner some support for that one too.
That would make a big difference, especially
Yeah.
our senior citizens, who reach in their pocket and feel lint all the time, or the constant worry. I've talked to several people who draw that.
Oh, that'll kill you quicker than anything.
They're worried. They actually worry, and they can't get what they want this month because they got to make sure this is paid because they're on a tight fixed income.
That should never happen.
They've earned it, damn it. And now the baby boomers, my mother was born in the baby boomer era, they're all getting up there. It flooded the system with more people. I think what you're talking about on that particular thing would do great. I want to touch on one more thing here real quick. kind of a somber note, these mass school shootings. Okay.
Yeah.
We can go on who's the fault the gun, the school's not locking up, or it ain't just schools. There's been people shot at parties, people shot at different
Grocery stores,
grocery
malls.
stores, malls, movie theaters, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Second Amendment fan. Fan. I own lots of guns. I love them. I'm responsible. I ain't shooting at mass people. What are we going to do? What do you think? Because there's a lot of people that give answers, but there's really no solid solutions. You go up in there. What will you vote? What will you put forward to stop some of these mass school shootings? Mass shootings of all kind.
Well, for the schools specifically, those targets need to be hardened. There needs to be professional security people there, retired military, or still able-bodied, because they've already shown that they know how to use weapons and are willing to sacrifice themselves for freedom. So I think they'll do the same thing for kids. I'm all for arming teachers. If you want to go through appropriate training and carry, that's fine. We're not going to make you. But remember, teachers, you're in the line of fire as well. It's not just the kids, it's you guys as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you would think for your own damn self-preservation, you'd want at least a sizable percentage of the faculty to be caring and know how to use the damn things out of self-preservation, if there's any such thing anymore. So that's where I'm at on that. Now, as far as movie theaters, grocery stores, everything else, has any NRA member been doing any of that?
No.
These
Okay,
aren't
I've
NRA
heard about
members. And we're the ones being targeted for this.
Oh, of course.
These are lunatics. Most of these people, remember, guys, most of these people were on the radar screen of the FBI. True, almost every one of them.
There's your guy
Nobody
again.
did anything.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. It's like they wanted it to happen. Okay, now this Uvalde case. Where did this 18-year-old broke-ass teenager weirdo, where did he get the money to buy all those high-tech? Those weren't cheap AR-15s he had.
Oh no, those were high tech military grade. And if you
Where
think-
did he get the money,
Right.
and where did he buy those? We still don't know.
And the one that did the shooting before him had the exact same identical weapons.
He did he?
Yes, he did. Yes.
So were they both souped up AR-15s?
Yes, they were.
What were they?
It's that
How these
new-
kids afford these? They're several $1,000s a piece, aren't they? Like
Yes, they
$3,000.
are. Yeah, with all the hardware and stuff on
Yeah,
them.
the
then
minimum
he
I
had
can
all-
find is
he had
2,500.
on
2,500.
vest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
on the best and everything. Where did this young man come up with this money and to secure all these things within 2 weeks of his 18th birthday?
I got my suspicions, but
Is somebody
that's just it.
with an agenda supplying this stuff to these people?
You know,
and
I
encouraging them?
I've
It's
thought-
just too much, guys. I just can't
Yeah.
believe all this stuff is happening this fast, this much, and there's not a reason behind it.
well, you
I'm
know what?
sorry.
I've had that same exact.
I'm looking at this realistically. It's
Right.
not the guns killing the people.
No,
When this lunatic ran over 16 people up there in Minnesota,
in a
or
car,
wherever it
yeah.
was,
With
did
these
they
trucks,
ban SUVs?
No.
they
No, here's the thing.
banned-
Here, I agree with you what you're saying. I've had that very same thought, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I thought maybe one side of the political aisle hiring these lunatics to do this, but no one's ever. You figure somebody would
Don't put it
snitch.
past
Hey,
them.
no one's professed and be like, "Hey, man, he told me to do it. He told me to do it." Because somebody would have did that, especially these wimp ass punks we got now. Okay, now if you kill them, obviously you can't get a testimony out of them. But
Democrats almost never.
I
snitch on
just don't. I don't know if someone's put them up to them or they're just whiny little asses who need better home treatment, right? And of course, we know he was bad. He was bad all the way around. What I'm pissed off about, and a lot of people on here, a lot of veterans on here, including some high officials that I've talked to, the cops, the response time for these vehicles. It goes back to what you're saying. If somebody was armed, because these are soft targets. See these crowds with no guns, they're easy
Absolutely.
targets. They're easy pickings. Okay, that's if I was going to be an idiot, I would go to somewhere.
You go to a gun-free zone and shoot people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we know the cops, God bless their soul, some of them want to help, but they got to get there. Okay. In 30 seconds, you can wipe out a lot of people. Okay.
That's right.
So if we put some people in there who are supposed to be there to protect these people, I'm all for that. Now, we had a guy there down there, but he left the facility. Wow.
And there was only just one guy.
What the hell? I don't know. But so
And there's just convenient timing also. He happened not to be in the building when the shooter entered.
that's the same way. Well, that's the same way with January 6th. All them cops all of a sudden had that time off. They knew the election just happened. They knew there's going to be transfer of power. That's when you double stack. You triple stamp a double stamp. You put all your max amount of people. Ain't no declining days off, declining vacations. Screw that. You know at that time of year what happens when a transfer power goes on. Why were the cops at the Capitol building shorthanded?
On January 6th? Yeah, they were just.
Trump wanted to call the National Guard. They told him no. Nancy Pelosi did it, and she got all the credit for it. When Trump actually said, and if they watch his video, he says, we want to go down there peacefully. We want to walk down there. We want to act right. He did not tell him to go in there blazing like that. I don't care who could tell me whatever. That's not what happened. I watched the same video everybody else watched too. Guys, we're here with John Dady. Fascinating conversation with the gentleman. He's running for Congress. You got any questions? Put a fork down here. We got a couple here real quick. Roy Anthony asks another question. He says, how can we, as Americans, guarantee all veterans to receive the GI Bill?
Well, the only way we can do that is to enforce the GI Bill. I mean, our side sure as hell would never do anything to keep you guys from getting your due. Democrats, you never know about them. You just don't know. It's not to get unemployable rated disabled vets a stipend for housing. That should be part of the GI benefits as far as I'm concerned. And you should be getting help to do whatever you can physically and emotionally to keep you going and not lose any of your benefits in the process. This is how I feel about it. It's just, boy, that's paid. For sure, the contract that they file for when they get out to
he's explaining the GI Bill.
But for veterans benefits, they should always, you got to take care of them.
I was going to go that way. I don't want to take away commander's opportunities, but the VA medical system is bad, and I'm being polite when I say bad. Because I've had to wait 3 to 6 months to get surgery that I've needed. I'm working on something for 2 years. I've needed, actually it's been 6 years. I've needed carpal tunnel surgery for 6 years now. And I still haven't got it. Yeah, my fingers go numb sometimes. I got to shake them. I sleep with a thing on my arm sometimes.
Oh, I know about that. Yeah, I get to go in for a carpal tunnel test myself.
I just got news Friday of brain damage that I had, that they thought I had back in 2009. I mean, the VA. So, what can we do to?
Well, didn't Trump change that so if the VA can't get to you, you can go to another doctor?
No,
you don't have to go to the VA.
You have to be referred by your primary care physician. I experienced that 18 months ago when I had bacterial infection that ate away my C2 and C3 vertebrae in my neck, and my C1 dropped on top of my C4. They ran an MRI at Leavenworth VA, and they immediately transferred me to KU, where I underwent spinal surgery, 2 of them, plus cancer surgery. They found that while I was there, and they put us out on what they call community care. And community care worked great under the Trump administration. It's probably why I'm alive today and not pushing up daisies. But since the Biden administration came in, they pulled all my community care. And I have now been put, and they're splitting me up between the Kansas City VA and the Leavenworth VA. And I cannot get community care for diddly squat. And they will not. They pulled me. And I was seeing an eye surgeon for my eyes. I had to have injections in both eyes every 30 days for the pressure on my glaucoma. It's been over a year since they pulled me on that, and I haven't had one injection. I'm taking eye drops to help keep the pressure down from my cataract surgeries. We can go on and on and on with other veterans and things, but when they pulled the community care, it's just everything's gone downhill under the Biden administration, and that's just that's a fact.
That's one of the facts. Him and I, both veterans, my care process is different than his. I'm a 60-60 patient. I live more than 60 miles away from Kansas City and Columbia. Okay, so every time I go, I have the choice to go where I want, but then they say accept. What's this accept crap? There's only a few choices on the thing. That wasn't what we were told originally. It's the way it is now. I mean, somebody have to tell me that they got our healthcare ain't that bad. I'll trade our healthcare for your healthcare heads up right now and give it $50 boot because
Yeah.
I'll take any healthcare but what we got. Don't get me wrong, we're grateful and we appreciate it, but this is stuff we got to go through, to get treatment. And there's nothing coming out of the
Well, you see, the
administration about it.
the community care was really a great thing when Trump really pushed it because he was for our veterans. I mean, I never seen a president for veterans so much in all my life as Trump was.
Yeah.
And what happened and what we saw is that by farming us out on community care, where we could pick the doctors that we wanted to go see and the VA would flip the bill for it, is we saw the workload on our VA system in the
Yes.
hospitals was cut in half.
Yes.
Maybe
Yep, it
better
was.
than half. So that meant that the guys who were just restricted to the VA and did not live far enough away to be put out on community care were getting much better care and treatment in the VA system itself because the overload was farmed
Was
out,
gone.
was
Yep.
gone. And now we're right back where we was. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so
I gotcha.
now it's right back to ground zero again. And we've got to get this administration or get another administration
Well,
in
what
there.
we need to do is we need to enact concrete laws and guidelines on this where no president can dick with it.
Right.
That's what we
Exactly.
need to
Right.
do.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Because they use
Oh.
they use guys for political pawns. He's for political pawns, one way or the other.
Yeah.
And
We were political
I
pawns
just-
in combat. We're
I've
political
watched-
pawns now.
That's right. That's exactly right.
yeah,
Yeah.
just well, with this overreaching administrative state, which is every one of our federal agencies, they all have. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Single one of them.
Yeah.
Congress decades ago gave them what's called, they enacted this thing called an enabling act. You guys heard that?
I've heard of it. a
I've heard it
time or
mentioned.
two.
I never delved into it.
Here's what it does. It gives lawmaking abilities to these administrations, to these agencies, and enforcement abilities. The Constitution only gives that to Congress,
Mhm.
no one else. Okay? So when Congress farmed out their responsibility to these federal agencies, it's wholly and completely unconstitutional, number one. So I'd be moving to get that struck and reversed immediately. We'll take it to the
Okay.
Supreme Court. Don't care. I'll win. Okay? My side will win this argument. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say, oh, in Congress, you have the authority to farm out your legislative ability to whomever. It's not in there. It says just the opposite. It's reserved for the Congress.
Reserved.
Reserved. That means that's yours. Okay? You can't farm it out. So they do. So then these bureaucratic idiots, they go, oh, well, remember the Waters of the USA thing a few years ago through the EPA?
Yeah.
Regulation, through their
Mhm.
mechanism of creating laws, they were going to give themselves jurisdiction over freaking water puddles. I kid you not. Over anything where there was water, they would have jurisdiction over it. And if there's a rainstorm and there's puddles in your yard or right in front of your house and shit's in it, they come out and measure it, then you're held liable for whatever's in that water. That finally went down to defeat because that's just, but you just see the idea. So they use this to extort. Example, the recent extortion from the USDA to our school kids. They told the states, you must accept transgender bathrooms. You must allow transgenders to go into the bathroom of their choice and the locker room of their choice. Okay. And if you do not agree to this, we're going to cut your school lunch money. So either agree to it or we'll starve your kids. That's an example of government overreach.
Yeah.
As
That's
government
it.
bullying. That's bullying too.
Yeah.
That's
You know?
bullying. That's actually technically that would describe a terroristic act,
Uh-huh.
is what that is.
Communism.
Look it up in
Exactly
the
what that
Patriot
is.
Act.
Yeah.
That is a
Communism.
terroristic act, is what that is.
Yeah.
So schools all over the country, states all over the country, it's like, okay, what do? We got to feed our kids. No, yeah, you do. But here's what I would do. USDA is one of the things I would vote to defund, encourage it to be defunded. The EPA, now take away all their ability to fine and create legislation and all of these. EPA, if we have a few good scientists there, they could be advisors, nothing more, an advisory panel. Department of Education, gut that sucker, close that thing down, so fast that they wouldn't even know what hit them. Ever since the Department of Education was created under the Carter administration, our school systems, our education has gone down. This was not on accident. This was by design, pure and simple. They've been dumbing down and indoctrinating kids in this country for 40 damn years. Each generation gets a little bit more dumbed down and indoctrinated than the one before. They've been taking baby steps.
Goes
Do you
back
really
to the,
think
it really goes
anybody-
back to the 50s.
Well, it started, but it really got in mass, okay, when they brought all those education agencies, one umbrella called the Department of Education.
Yeah.
Now they had all their ammo in one spot.
Yep.
And I know you're right. It started there, but it really, really kicked in high gear there in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's gotten worse since. So close that sucker down. And Missouri, for example, I was talking to Jay Ashcroft about this the other night. He loves this. And about $1.25 billion a year. And I said, Jay, so you're fine with me suggesting shutting down Department of Education. Can't say the other one because it's two the same. And he says, yeah, because they're wasting that money in administrative costs and bullshit they don't need anyway that we get from the government. He says, yeah, I look at it as their slush fund. He says, yeah. He says, I would totally support you in shutting that sucker down and let the states control their education system like they're supposed to do.
And I have a way to fund this.
Yeah.
I have a way to fund this. Okay. Here's what you do. There's four major sports organizations in the United States. All of them have 30 or more teams. Okay.
Yep.
You go to these people and say, look here, we're going to give you a sizable deduction on taxes if you take money and put in what I come up with, the United States School Fund. Okay. You pump this money in there. You take that money and you can fund a lot of these schools who can't get funded. Because I guarantee you, the NFL, you know what the NFL makes a year?
And several billion.
Yeah. North of 46 billion. TV contracts, people. Okay, if the NFL is making 46 billion, hockey has got 32 teams. Baseball's got 30. Baseball plays through the year. They're the longest playing sport, I think. Basketball plays all the time. They don't. You wouldn't tell me that some owner wouldn't want to jump on this if he got a sizable reduction in taxes if they put in this fund.
Right.
And the states that haven't got a sports team,
You're right.
the state that hadn't got a sports team, like there's a state that had, I think Iowa still got Quick Roads. If I'm wrong on that, correct me if I'm wrong. Iowa has big Quick Roads plan. Yeah. Okay.
Yep,
States like that, they can have Quick Roads say, look here, same thing for you. You want, and I guarantee you, let the entertainment, let the this money fund everything. It takes the
there's
money
a lot
out.
of other. You're right, and there's a lot of other funding sources as well. But back to the schools, we have to. People think you got to be a genius to be a teacher. Oh, hell no! It's the easiest degree to get. Number one, it is. It is the easiest degree to get. Talking to Ashcroft about this the other day too. I need our states and every state to require more from our teachers. First of all, they're indoctrinated and dumbed down just like the rest of them. Okay. So before they set foot in the classroom, and the ones that are there now, we need to redo those guys. My kid asked me one day, he's 6th or 7th grade, who was
Pearl
Who was
Harbor?
it was.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
That's sad. Okay. So this fits right into what I'm saying. These teachers don't teach, they indoctrinate and dumb down. They got to be removed from the classroom.
Yeah. I don't want your political. I don't want to hear you teach my kid your political views.
We don't want to hear you talking to Johnny and Janie how you can become something else.
Yes.
To use Rush Limbaugh's terms, that addictomy, that's a girl becoming a boy, or lopidectomy surgeries. You don't get, I have a really good video on my website that I made about that. You don't get to talk to them about that at all in school. They can, if they want to go mess up their bodies and their life, they could, God bless them when you're 18 years old, you're out of the public schools, you're out of your parents' house. Go and do whatever you want to. Go mutilate your body. God bless you. I'm not here to stop you, but I'm here to say in our public schools, there's no place for that. No. Now we have teachers. You see some of these weird asses, okay, teaching our kids in drag queen story hour. So I want to require, at least in Missouri, I'd like to see Missouri lead on something for a freaking change. And
Meth labs. We
or,
lead meth
well,
labs.
okay, yeah, I mean in a good way, Chief. So I want the qualifications to become a teacher to be stricter. You'll have to take some Hillsdale College courses to learn about our government and our history, because those are the best courses to take. And you'll have to pass those with an 80% passing rate before you can even set foot in a classroom. Okay. I need our teachers to be educated, not indoctrinated. So before they even get their teaching certificate, guys, I'm not joking about this, they have got to prove that they're of sound mind and that they have the proper education to teach our children, not to indoctrinate them and have drag queens freaking story hour.
Right.
Any
Right.
school who does that needs to be, you know who needs to go on lockdown on that? The administrators and the teachers who do it. Get them the hell out.
Right. Well, there's a good man down in Florida who's he made a law to put a stop to a lot of that crap. Now he
did go far enough. He went to third grade, and like I said on my video about that, just DeSantis, God bless him, he's fighting. All right, at least he has an idea how to fight back against Satan. But I would have made it clear through public schools. 18.
Yep. I made it. Do what you want to do when you're off the school property.
And parents
don't talk about it.
Who are taking these kids to these drag shows, man.
You know what?
What's wrong with them? I mean, seriously. I mean, just because everybody can breed doesn't mean everybody should be breeding.
Right. One of the things.
What is wrong with the parent?
I think started when you seen these little girls enter these pageants, and they dress these little girls up like they're grown women.
Oh, I know. Look like adults. Yeah.
That disgusts me. I mean, listen, I'm not going to make a law, so you can't do that. If you think you're a parent and you want to do that, whatever. But I don't like watching it because I know there's a lot of pedophiles, and I got disdain for them in the crowd, and that fuels on what they do. And I think it started there because now they're doing it, and now they got TV. They make a rule: a TV commercial has to, when they're making commercials, it has to be either a black and white couple, or a gay couple, or a gay man, a gay woman. Just and that's not. If you're trying to sell a product to a different race, for example, and don't put on there an opposite race on there. That's not who you're pandering to. So they're doing it because they're all getting this woke movement, and it's just terrible. Walt Disney's with the crap. I mean, a Thor. There's a Thor. Who is that? Oh, Buzz Lightyear. Yeah. I seen Buzz Lightyear has got a gay son or something like that. What the hell, Buzz Lightyear? I mean, I like Buzz Lightyear too. What did he come out with next? Simba was resurrected as a drag lion. On
what?
Lion King, Lion King. Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, no Lion King. But really. So now they want to. What do they call? There's this new thing coming out. You hear more and more about it. It's called transhumanism.
Yeah, it's birthing people.
Tests on real facts. If the teachers push their agenda, the kids fail the tests, and the school loses funding. Well, the teaching to the test, that's been a long time thing. You actually had to learn something back in the day. When you had to do Iowa Basic Schools test, remember those guys?
Yeah, I remember
that. Iowa set the gold standard in education for a long time. That's why there was that Iowa Basic Skills test. Now it's like, I don't know, the Dumb and Dumber skills test. I don't know. They keep lowering the bar. What's your thoughts on how people spend their food stamps? Well, they shouldn't be spending them at the casino. I know that. Food stamps should be. I've never been on them. Thank God I've known some people are, but I don't think you can buy tobacco or alcohol with it, can you? No.
No, you can spend them at the convenience stores. Anything that's food, they can be spent at convenience
stores.
Which
is not right. I see them buy all this junk food.
It needs to be at the grocery stores.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But that's just my personal thought.
I like it.
They buy all this crap food on their food stamps.
Right.
A lot of times you can load up on crap food a lot
cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper than good food.
Yes, but sad to say. Yeah.
Which is it is. I mean, those loaded up carb foods are cheap. Yeah, you're fine for an hour, and then the carbs are gone. Now you're hungry again. But we need to do something better than that. See, also, I have another video about addressing this as well. I have a lot of videos. Because I have a lot of things on my mind. I could do a couple videos a day if I had time to do it. this whole welfare state that we've created. I'm sure you guys know a lot about that. You've known
Yeah.
people the
Yeah.
same age. That whole damn thing was designed to disrupt the family unit. In other words, split it up, get the man out of the house, and have the government come in and be daddy. That's what that was for. And it has worked like a charm, and it's spread out through every demographic of our economy, of our culture, of our country. Now it's like, of course, when you try to get out of that cycle of poverty, they call it. Well, if you're a single mother, which is unfortunately is about half of them with 2-3 kids, and you're getting the housing aid, some cash payments, and a lot of food stamps, et cetera, right? And keep in mind, half of the people on welfare have a full-time job. It's not that they're not working, they're not making enough. So as they try to, let's say you get a job offer and it's $2 an hour more. But that $2 an hour more and a better opportunity, you lose all of your benefits. You cannot replace the benefits you lost with that $2 an hour more. It is not possible. That's the decision that so many millions of people have to make every day. Do I take this career opportunity over here for a couple of dollars an hour more and lose food stamps, lose housing, lose cash payments, lose everything? Well, no, they don't, because they can't risk it. My girlfriend went through that, but I was able to help her. I said, go ahead and do it. I'm here. I was making good money at the time, and I made up the difference. Everybody. I have it's called the Step Up, Step Down program.
Right. I read about that some years back. I think Obama was president at the time. Maybe Bush. I think it was Obama, and had a lot of people come in and talk about people need to earn their welfare check. For example, maybe do a piss test for them, or people are being lazy, right, and just collecting a check. Well, they did a study and they said, well, that's not true. And I think it is true, but they said it's not true that these guys, it costs more money if they wasn't getting these subsidies. But I know a lot of people, absolutely a lot of people who can work, who are lying about injuries, who actually can work, right? But they say those people ain't out there. John, I'm telling you, those people are out there. There's somebody in every family.
I'm addressing the people who are on aid, who are working full time, which is about half people on welfare.
Right.
That's literally true. So, but we punish them. Mm-hmm. If you try to better yourself, you're going to lose most or all of your benefits, and you got to weigh the odds, weigh the money. It's like, if the math isn't adding up, you don't take that promotion. You don't take that job where you get more money, because you lose more than you're gaining. So under my proposal, the Step Up, Step Down, as you're improving and you're going up in the pay scale, changing careers, making more money, I'm not going to punish your ass. You're going to stay the same until you start getting up to a certain level. Then we'll start backing you down. I'm not going to kick you off the rung on the ladder every time you try to go up one, which is exactly what our system is designed to do. It's purposeful. They need as many people under control of the government as possible. My plan will give people the opportunity to get themselves out of that cycle of poverty. No punishment to them or their kids at all. This is how it should have always been.
I know my wife, before I met her, right, she tried to get some assistance, and she just couldn't get it. And she wanted to work and wanted to do things, and she just couldn't get it. And so there's a lot of people that have that same complaint. They can't get it if they need it. They don't want to live on it. They just want to get started, get it going, and then they'll give it back, whatever.
Right. Well, they did that. Did your wife have kids at the time?
Yes. And
she should have got it.
And
depends on her income level.
They said they was going to give her $16 worth of food stamps. I mean, but anyway,
really?
She married me, and I'm a sugar daddy, I guess. But,
I was one of those too until I went broke and then no longer needed. But we need to redo that whole thing. That whole welfare system is just, it's oppressive. It's wrong, and the people who can't work need to work. We had that welfare to work thing years and years ago. Obama got elected. He did away with that work requirement. You know that, right?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
He got rid of that.
Yeah.
And I was really heavily involved in helping with that back in the day. And it was all great, except for my concern was because monies would be paid to employers. Employers got a nice chunk of money for hiring people on welfare, on the work to welfare system when it came out in 96 or 7, I think is when it got passed. And I'm telling the guys congressmen, senators, says, I'm not kind of liking that aspect of it. I go, why? I says, well, because as soon as that benefit, here's what's going to happen. The minimum wage is $3.35 an hour. And I think, basically what the government was going to do was they're going to pay $3.35 an hour to employers that would hire welfare workers. Okay. Now that was supposed to make it $7.70 an hour, right? No, most of the employers pocketed that $3.35 an hour.
Well, dishonest people.
And this was my other concern is they would do that, and many did, and then it would last for so many months. Okay, and then the program would go away, and then the employee would be self-sufficient on that job. Well, my concern wasn't that they would then fire those people and bring on the next welfare person, which is exactly what they did.
All right,
so
John.
They set it up as a gift for them.
I got one more question with it, and we're going to start to do our normal stuff to close out the show. You can hang around if you want to. It's up to you.
Okay.
The last question. This is a hot debated question. If you get elected, do you believe abortion should be federal or should be done by the states?
It's always been a states' right thing. Constitution doesn't allow for it. Never did.
That's right. There's no such thing in the Constitution anywhere about abortion.
Nope.
Anyway.
In fact, it says just the opposite. Your life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness for yourselves and your posterity, which is your children. So that's a right, a God-given right to all of us in this country.
Absolutely.
And yes, it needs to be done at state levels. And the fewer states, the better.
All right. You got anything, Commander?
Oh, just a couple things a couple thoughts I wanted to throw out real quick.
All right.
Going back to the very beginning of our conversations when some comments were made about with the elections and stuff and being rigged and fixed, that people just feel like they don't need to get out and vote. I'm a firm believer that it's our duty, obligation, and responsibility to vote, regardless if we know that they're trying to rig it, fix it, move it in the direction that they want it to go, because strength is in numbers.
Yeah,
and the only way we can show our strength is to go to the polls and vote.
That's right.
You know, and so I just wanted to throw that little thought out there. Also, I had a thought that it came up a long time ago that I would love to see happen, but it will never, ever happen. All of our NASCAR race car drivers, all their sponsors, they have their logos all over their jackets that they wear.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice. I think it'd be nice if everybody in Congress and the Senate had blazers with all their special interest groups embroidered and stitched all over, so that when they're standing up there in their meetings, we can see who's funding them and backing them. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay,
you know what?
I just think that needs to happen.
For that, Transparency Act requiring
there you go
display on your clothing. Your sponsor.
There it is.
You got my vote.
Yeah,
you got my vote, brother.
There you go. I just wanted to throw that out there because I just really think that needs to happen.
Yeah, it absolutely needs to happen. All right, guys.
You're right.
You guys just tuning in. His name's John Dady. He's running for election in the upcoming November. Put him in, guys. Get him in there. Let's see what he can do. We need some fresh faces in there.
U.S. Congress, folks.
What's going on?
I can get.
What's going on right now sucks. Surely, I mean, let's be real. He can't do any worse than what's already been up there. So let's get him in there.
I can only improve this. I'm not a status quo guy. I would be going there to break things into. Yeah, but I need the 700,000 people in this 6th district behind me to do this. Yep. Just wishing me luck and shaking my hand is not going to win the day.
Just walk in and say, break, bleed, or blister. Here it comes, guys. Let's do it.
That's right. All right, guys. We're going to get on the rest of the portion of our show. John, hang around a little bit if you want
to. Thanks a lot, John. Watch with us.
All right, guys. Our What Is It? Brand new last week. What is it? Here it is. You tell me what that is accurately. I will only respond to the right answer because it takes up too much time to answer all the false ones or fake ones. Fake news, fake, wrong. Okay. Just tell me what it is. You get 100 entries into the mystery box. You know that we give that away during Warrior Fest every year. 100 entries into the mystery box. If you could tell me the proper name of what that is.
Can
Okay.
we be smart ass about it? It looks like a toupee with dandruff.
Yeah. Well, you can give it anything you want to give it. But, all right. Let's go down here a little bit. Right here. Chuck Norris is at it again. Well, it's kind of a remix of Chuck Norris, but only Chuck Norris could pull this off.
Yeah. That's good.
Only Chuck. You're afraid of telling me anything. It says, being white doesn't make you a racist. Being black doesn't make you a slave. Being idiot, however, comes in both colors. Yes.
Yep.
All right. We've all walked down the aisle somewhere in a grocery store or out in park or somewhere and seen the modern man. You seen these modern men around there, Commander?
They scare me.
Yeah. Even in the Lion Kingdom world.
Lion King.
Men back in the day. Men in the,
Yeah.
That's great. The mullet is back.
the mullet is back. I've never had one in my life. Good thing I got an afro. I can't get no damn mullet. All right. Here's did you ever back in the day put baby oil all over yourself, go outside in the sun and cook yourself? Call it the lobster look. My son did that. It looked like an alligator. Every time he moved here, when pulling apart. Somebody said Nancy. Yeah. All right. This one's for the commander. I found this one especially for the commander. Please do not drink the water. He had a bad stool problem. He had to cut out a bunch of pipes to get to it. Somebody put paper towels down the toilet. So I wanted to, stupid ass, I want to get that around. All right. Amish Uber Sports Edition. I'm seeing it all now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's great.
All right, here we go. Everyone has the right to be stupid. It's just some people abuse the privilege.
I think it's a little more than some. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that on my Facebook feed the other day.
All right, some of this, I got some videos to show y'all. Some of this has adult language, so viewer discretion is you like that, right? Viewer discretion advised. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I've been advised.
You've been advised. This one's this is Steve Harvey.
Tell you something else white folks do on the weekend. White folks go fishing on the weekends. Oh, I'm talking really fishing. White folks got boats, extra rods and reels in case some friends come along. They got lures and they be all over the lake just finding fish. They got radar, tell them how deep the water is, how many fish up under the boat, where the rocks and all that. Oh, white folks got everything. Be all over the lake fishing. Your ass is fishing, but ain't the same. Nah, your ass is sitting on the bank on a bucket with a cane pole, staring at some little red and white ball on top of the water, just looking at it hour on hour. I hate to break it to you, that ain't fishing. Your ass is hoping.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, them guys, them whole Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac guys, they're just funny, man.
Yeah, they're funny guys.
Now, this one here has got some adult language, and this one here, this guy's a Trump supporter, but he loves Biden.
Who likes Trump? Let's find that out. Trump always... Ah, okay, all right, okay. Who likes Biden? Even the Democrats are like, him. It's not his fault. I'll be honest, look, I'm glad we got Biden into the White House so he doesn't wander off and get hit by a car. Gang, I'm not trying to piss anyone off. I'm just trying to get us all united and laughing together. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, man. God's sakes. country's never been so divided. It's like black versus white, gay versus straight, liberals versus Americans. It's ridiculous.
Yes. And tell me he's wrong.
Yep. No,
You know
you
what I
can't.
mean?
Spot on.
Here's another Steve Harvey clip. He's older than this one. I don't know if you watch him. He's got a TV show where he solves people's problems. It's a funny show.
22-year-old college student and currently live at home with my mom. The only problem is she always tries to control me. I've confronted her about it, but she'll say, it's my house and my rules, so if you don't like it, then get out. So how do I maintain my independence while not getting put out?
See, Kyra, you get independence when you become independent. But as long as you are dependent and you live in her house, then see your mama, she making rules.
If you're wanting me to like move toward independence and be an adult, then kind of give me that leeway and treat me like one.
Well, that ain't how it works. How much do you contribute? Do you buy groceries, pay the mortgage? Do you even know what a light bill is? Do you make the car payment? Why is she so quiet? That, folks, is the silence of a dependent. That's the sound of my children when I ask them the same question. People in hell want ice water.
Hey, again.
That don't mean you're going to get it.
No, again, correct me if he's wrong.
Valid points.
Okay, this next bit is by Richard Pryor. The guy's covering it. He's on TikTok. He's imitating Richard Pryor. So there is some adult language in this. Be advised.
I met one brother, his name was J-Bo. Motherfucker lift weights, he was in charge of it. J-Bo, muscles every motherfucker. Where's my man? Muscles. He was doing a sentence, triple life. How in the fuck do you do triple life? I mean, if he die and come back, he got to go to penitentiary. Right?
They say, fuck kindergarten, get your little old ass back in the penitentiary, motherfucker. You know what you did last time you was here.
Gene Wilder loved to jump in the middle of the killers and start talking, hi guys, how you doing? I said, Gene, bring your ass out. What do you think they do to us if we were here, Rich? He say, fuck us.
A little backstory on that. That's when they filming the movie Stir Crazy. They actually went into a live penitentiary. It was not actors.
Yeah.
And they went in there and they did their thing. I guess Gene Wilder, he'd go around handshaking everybody. And Richard's like, get your ass over here. What the hell is wrong with you? That's funny. Richard Pryor, to me, is still the man. I don't care, dead or not. Here's two more real quick. This is called Your Mama Jokes. I'm sorry.
Las Vegas. And his mother will be at the LA Zoo. Y'all make sure y'all.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Y'all sit down for a minute. I know you didn't say what you just said. My mama will be at the LA Zoo. Ricky Smiley, I love you, and I invite you to come to Las Vegas anytime. They even named the hotel after your mama over there. It's called a Westwood Ho. Now, you ain't gonna stand up here and talk about my mama. I don't play. Go ahead. I'll take y'all on. I ain't scared. Dog.
George, your mama's so strong.
How strong is she?
She can backstroke in mud.
Ricky, your mama is so ugly. She's so ugly she can stop birds right in the middle of the air. Get your ass up off this floor.
That bird shit. That's ugly now. That's ugly.
Sit your ass down. Look at him. He's skinny. He's skinny just like his mama. His mama's so skinny she gets in the car and looks like the club. You know what I'm saying? and she's so short when she farts, she burns her neck.
Burns her neck.
Your mom. You know I got a
my mama blind. Your mama grow hair in her mouth. She have to gargle with meat.
Man, your mama breath so bad when she talks, she just talking
Fucking shit.
Your mama so nasty, she had to cut the string off her tampon because the crabs kept bungee jumping.
He likes this. We're going to write this one down. He likes this one. That was a good one. But the next one's better.
What you doing? Say that again. What was she so nasty?
That was a good one.
I heard your mama so nasty, she keep ice in her drawers so she can keep the crabs fresh.
She always has a little snack that way.
Yeah. Man, imagine your 10-year-old grandkids out in the yard talking like that. First I walk out, what's that? And I mean, hold on. Say it again. That's gonna be on comedy somewhere.
Save that later.
This last one I was gonna play for you earlier, so I'll play it now. It's not a comedy or nothing. This is called bias reporting. We had some things happen that you really didn't hear about.
Oh, okay.
6 dead and 12 injured in one of the most historical mass shootings in Sacramento, California. Does anybody else notice anything here? I mean, you can't make this shit up. Dondre, Smiley, and now Devani. I'm sure all three sung at the local choir and volunteered at the homeless shelter. Such lovely boys and pillars of the community. And all three of them had illegal firearms. I'm not sure why the strictest state when it comes to gun laws didn't prevent them from doing so. Maybe because criminals don't obey the law. Let me guess, is white supremacy and post-traumatic stress from slavery why they have bad behavior? Or is it just the guns aren't following the law? Or maybe that red SUV rejected the law as well in Wisconsin? When do we get a hard puzzle to solve here, folks? We don't have a race problem in this country. We have a problem race with poor leadership and destructive culture. Bad truth. When you teach the youth to be victims and that they're owed justice from innocent people, you create a system of bullying and abuse.
Yep. I don't know how else better the man could have said it.
I know that's right.
He's exactly correct. And that's what a lot of these shootings, some of these, like, for example, that kid that shot Valde up in Texas. If I would have shot my grandmother, she'd have killed my ass. I wouldn't have made it down there, you know what I'm saying? She wouldn't try to negotiate, please give me the weapon. First of all, she'd have took him.
Yep.
Okay. And whooped my ass with a switch, and I'd have been all the better man for it.
There was a student that was interviewed about that.
Right.
Why he thought that all these school shootings were taking place. He says they're doing it for attention because the media will make them famous for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And he says they're seeking attention and they're getting the attention in the wrong way.
Yeah, it's irreversible attention. That after if they're not shot dead, they got to go to prison.
Right.
And you know what happens to little pretty people in there. Yeah. Okay, they become somebody's piece of meat. So, Raymond Truebread, brother, how you doing? Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. All right, let's do the Pimp's Pet.
Pimp's Pet. Here we go.
Pimp's Pet. Let me start with this one right here. It's called a Mata Mata turtle.
Okay.
That's a big hell no turtle. What that is.
Looks like I saw that on Star Wars.
Well, I'm not saying maybe I didn't steal those Star Wars. It's look at that thing. And look how far the neck comes out on that thing.
Just shoot that thing. That's creepy.
Yeah, me being Indian, I can't because that's they're sacred in my culture, but not this one. This is just weird. But look at the neck on that thing. My goodness. I wanted to call that the hammerhead shark.
Mercy,
or
mercy.
hammerhead turtle, I mean.
Yeah.
Hammerhead turtle. All right, let me go up here and tell you a little about it. In case you all wondered about this thing. Because some of our fans wondered about these things I put on there. The behavior of the Mata Mata shell resembles a piece of bark.
Well.
Actually, look at it. I guess it kind of does. And its head resembles fallen leaves. And it remains motionless in the water, and its skin flaps enable it to blend into the surrounding vegetation until a fish comes close. Mata Mata thrusts out of the head and opens the large mouth as wide as possible, creating a low pressure vacuum that sucks the prey into its mouth, known as suction feeding. Wow, I wouldn't have thought that, would you? I would have thought that. The mata mata snaps its mouth shut. The water is slowly expelled, and the fish is swallowed whole.
Wow.
The mata mata cannot chew due to the way its mouth is constructed.
That's crazy.
And it can't chew its food, but it's been around since eons.
Wow.
Well, there you go. That's your pimp's pet for today.
Where's our little buddy?
And here we go. Our last segment of the day we always do on here. Right before let's check the comments real quick. Let me see. Dean says, damn turtle looks like a samurai warrior after he just saw he kissed his girlfriend. Actually, maybe yeah, okay.
Okay. I get that.
I see it.
Yeah.
All right, this is our somber thing we do toward the end of the show. You guys just tune in. We started this a month ago, maybe. We always do a missing persons, okay, and we really care about what people, how people are, and we got a lot of love people, not just veterans, but all people of all kinds. So give me a second to bring this up to y'all, okay, and then I gotta bring it to the screen. There you go. All right. I'm gonna mess up her name, so here we go. It's Melania Luke. She was come up missing. Let me make this bigger for you. There's an age enhanced photo of her. Date of birth, February 13th, 2002. Her hair is brown. She's 4 foot tall at the time of her disappearance. She's a female. Nationality, American. Place of birth, Saipan, Northern Mariana Islands. Eyes are brown. Weight, 65 pounds at the time of disappearance. Race, Asian Pacific Islander. So, I mean, she's got a few things in her there, guys. Scars. She has a birthmark on her left cheek. All right. How did I get out of this? What happened here? Melina is FBI is offering a reward up to $25,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Melina. All right, Melina was last seen wearing a white blouse and blue jeans. Melina and Philemon Luke were last seen at the bus stop near their home in the village of Aztul, Saipan, on May 25th, 2011. The sisters are 9 and 10 at the time. They were waiting for school bus to arrive and have not been seen since that time. If you have any information concerning these persons, I only see one person. It says these persons. Please contact your local FBI agent or your nearest American embassy. There's that's kind of an enhancement of if she could be alive today, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's Meryl, there, right here. Here's her. Let's do 2 for 1. There's a sister. There's a sister. If you see any of these two girls, please report it immediately, like fast.
Okay.
Hear that back noise? Huh. Anyway, guys, there you go. I hope you guys could help these people out. Yeah, Dean, thank you, brother. It was on a different flyer. It was right down below. I had to get to a different screen. That time it went crazy on me. Normally it don't. It gives me everything I need right there. Anyway, guys, listen, we appreciate you all joining in, tuning in for us. Very lovely show, very spirited show. Covered a lot of ground today. So if you didn't understand something, go back and watch the show again. We're here with John Dady. He's running for Congress, guys, 6th District, Missouri. He's taking on opponent Sam Graves. If you're from Missouri, you obviously heard the name Sam Graves. You know, he's kind of a ballless, some would say, no nuts. I can say that. It's my show. I can say that. He didn't say it. John didn't say it.
Or you guys can go to my website too at johndadyforcongress.com, and I've got some information there as well as on my Facebook site.
Absolutely.
And Getter.
Denise Maddox. Denise Maddox said, "Good luck, John." You got a couple
Thanks,
fans
Denise.
there. Dean Cerny, he enjoyed the show, and
appreciate it.
A lot of people enjoyed the show. Just coming in. Anyway, guys, listen. We say it all the time. You're not worthless, unless you're a child molester. But you're not worthless. Don't be the stat. Don't be 22 a day. I know a lot of veterans out there right now who just don't think they can go on. The economy's bad. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Hold on.
Yeah.
Before long, in the next couple of days, I'm going to announce a number. We have our own phone number now for W Entertainment Network that you can call in and talk to myself, Roy Anthony, and whichever one of the hosts got their name on there to help you. So you're not to 22 a day. It's a sad stat. No one's cared about. That's our pandemic, 22 a day. Guys, we love you all. On behalf of everyone here at the W Entertainment Network, on behalf of John, man right here, as you've seen today, my good friend, my brother in arms, Commander. I'm Richie King, comedian Richie King, the bad boy of comedy, redneck pimp. You guys take care of yourselves and each other.
That's right. We love you.
Yep.
We love you. May the Great Spirit bless you and keep you, and his face shine upon you. As I say in my native language, Dona Dagahoy. Osta Usvi. I'll see you guys later. Until Tuesday.
Guys.
Go in peace.